Yeah. Well, I think that was a comprehensive ad read.
Yeah.
And it was a word perfect.
Yeah.
Might I add?
We gotta stick to the script because the freeze.
I mean, are we allowed to say? Yeah, I was gonna say
they had a big problem with.
Apparently, our Batman, that whole thing we did.
They hated it. Yeah. So.
They didn't like it.
Yeah, so we'll try this. Hopefully they enjoy it, and if not, then
is it the same ad buyer?
The old show. We got away with a lot more stuff because people couldn't see us, so they could imagine whatever they want in their head.
We gave them 40 minutes on those pipes.
When it's two little worm men and you can see us.
Well, as long as we're the same.
And we're like, oh, what the hell is this? CBD gummies? Where do you put that? Your ass?
That's funny.
And people just don't like our faces, I guess.
No, we have nice faces.
I think that's the problem.
No, those pipe guys are like those fucking like cannabis culture snobs. We were like doing too many riffs, and they're like, we take weed seriously.
Yeah.
He got pissed at us.
Remember back in the day, I feel like everyone had this opinion that like the main reason to legalize weed, unless, there's a bunch of people in prison for nonviolent offenses.
Yeah.
So that's kind of fucked up. But secondary to that is to kill weed culture. Because you can't be like a pothead if it's a thing that's legal.
Yeah.
Nobody's like, dude, Skittles,
right.
Like, oh man, I love watching Rick and Morty.
I think it worked.
It did not work. It made it worse. Now that it's legal, the fucking weed guys are way worse.
How many obnoxious weed guys do you know in your own life?
Not personally, but I don't know many people.
I used to know a ton.
Because you were in college.
When I was younger, I thought the day they legalized weed would be people would like run into the streets like it was like the end of Star Wars. Like I thought it was like
Dick Clark.
Everyone like finally, and they did it quietly. No one cared.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I thought it was going to be the like a. Like,
are you watching The Mandalorian, by the way?
No, are you?
I think now that.
Should we get into it?
I've got a week sober.
Yeah. How does it feel?
We're
proud of you.
I feel a lot better, honestly.
Yeah.
I fell off the wagon for a year, and then I kind of offset that by being vegan. I was like, oh, dude, I'll do the right thing for the world and hurt myself.
Yeah, okay.
And then...
that kind of makes sense. I mean...
Yeah, I started eating fish again, and then I completely fucking I stopped drinking, and then...
But no booze.
Yeah, no booze, but I had nachos probably the next day.
Yeah, you walked into the studio carrying a bag of barbecue.
Yeah, almost immediately.
And you said that alcohol makes you depressed.
Yeah. Well, I was already depressed. Alcoholism is a symptom.
Sure. Sure.
But yeah, no, I feel a lot better. I feel a lot more stable.
So The Mandalorian.
I think that's a good test. Because I'm an idiot, right? Like I should be.
I don't know, that whole Barack Obama, Donald Trump, Alex Jones, David Goliath, that was one of the smartest things ever. Okay, go ahead.
I should be able to enjoy The Mandalorian. As a dumb guy, I should be like, did you see what Boba Fett turns out his mom is Yoda or whatever the fuck happens on that show.
Is that what it is?
Stuff like that should make me just over the moon. Someone of my intelligence, I should be delighted to find out that Yoda was a baby at one point.
But you were never into that kind of stuff, though.
I like Star Wars.
You
think
I was booze prohibited you from that?
I don't think booze prohibited me. I think I had an inability to enjoy. And I spent 10 years sober prior to this, and a lot of that time as like what you call a dry drunk, where you can't enjoy your life. Also, just a cocaine addict. That was the other thing too. I stopped doing cocaine, immediately started drinking again. It was almost like clockwork.
I don't know if the timeline works that way.
It pretty much does, because it was, remember...
First of all, you weren't a cocaine addict. You did a lot of coke during COVID because everyone was getting fucked up.
Right. But February is when we stopped. It was in Chicago. Remember?
You had a bad time.
I had a bad time, and then I stopped, and it was probably a week later I started drinking.
It's not we. It's like you like... Well, I don't think you're making like deals with yourself, which is like, I guess what addiction is, right? You're like, I'll do this, I'll do that.
I'm making a different point. Is that, and it's a trite point, but it's obvious. But
The Mandalorian.
That I'm just not enjoying my life, and I should be, and like a better test is not like, because I've also been very lucky. Like the way things have worked out, in spite of being Donald Trump, basically a racist landlord, and kind of a pretty bad guy. Honestly, been very lucky to have a lot of things, and I don't enjoy my life. And it's not like I shouldn't look to the things that I have because those are sort of like unique, right? Like it shouldn't be like, okay, well, if I have this problem and I'm drinking or doing whatever, like, you know, like doing things that are bad for me because I'm unhappy, so I need to reorient, figure out how to enjoy my life so I don't do those things rather than just abstaining from them. It's not like I can look at these exceptional aspects of my life and find enjoyment in that because, like, what if I didn't have any of those things, right? I should try to find the things that I would enjoy if I had none of those things, which would be stuff like The Mandalorian or Funko Pops.
And if that doesn't satisfy you, you'll pick up the bottle again?
No, that's not what I'm saying at all. It's like I should figure out what mental work I need to do so that someone like me watches The Mandalorian and I enjoy it.
I don't know, maybe like hurt your brain, like...
I don't need to hurt my brain.
Maybe it's just like a traumatic brain injury.
No, not a traumatic brain injury.
Also, you should start at Andor. I hear it's a little bit elevated from
Is that a different show?
Yeah, I hear it's kind of more like gritty.
It's so funny that people waited 30 years for, well, not 30, well, yeah, well, no, hold on. So each installment of the prequels, like they waited 20 years for the new Star Wars movies, right? And those were dog shit. And then we waited another 15 for the latest trilogy, and those were somehow even worse than the prequels, right? So they got progressively shittier, but you had to wait all this time. And then after the last series, now it's just 24/7 Star Wars. They're just pumping out more Star Wars.
Yeah.
And somehow they have no problem just making as much Star Wars
I think it's
as
Disney bought Star Wars.
Okay, all right.
I think that's what happened.
All right, well then I'll stop talking.
I think that, listen, I don't think that you should use The Mandalorian for that.
As a litmus test.
No, I think you should just, I think it's a matter of just like, I don't know, just being kind to your friends and family. And just like,
I do,
and focusing on the relationships and bonds.
You're talking about behavior, and that's,
it's not behavior.
I'm talking
no,
about
it gives
perception.
life meaning.
I am nice to my family and friends.
But that's what matters at the end of the day.
Sure, it matters, but that's still just trying to use behavior to like change something internally.
Yeah, but maybe the problem is fixation with oneself.
The problem is perception.
No, maybe the problem is fixation with oneself.
In what way?
Just like thinking about like whether or not like you can fix your one's. I mean, like, okay, we're gonna get in this conversation.
We'll game it out. Here's why that's not the right answer.
It's not. I'll tell you.
Because there's plenty of people that do that. They feel miserable, and then either they self-harm or they do this thing where they say, okay, well, I'll just nullify myself and then focus on other people, and then you're still sitting.
It's not about nullifying yourself.
Yeah.
That's not what I'm advocating for.
What are you advocating for? You said focus on.
At the end of the day, what matters truly is having love and giving love. I can't believe we're saying this on the show right now.
Mm-hmm. So then what's?
And I saw it in person when my mom passed away.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I didn't realize it until then, but that's the only thing that makes sense to me. Yeah, and those are the people you want around yourself at that moment.
That's a completely separate thing from what I'm talking about.
How?
In your day-to-day life.
I'm not saying use that. I'm not saying use that to fix one's own brain, right? What I'm saying is think about what matters and think about what gives life meaning.
Well, those things, those bigger questions they're easier to fixate on and find answers to than just like enjoying the day-to-day moments in your life that are banal.
Uh-huh.
And if you...
I'm not rejecting the Mandalorian thing. I think you might be onto something. It might be. If it's nice to watch Mandalorian and it makes you feel good, that sounds awesome.
Yeah.
That sounds fucking awesome. But I'm saying your experience watching Mandalorian is not...
Because if you want to flip it and try to make it an ego thing...
It's not the same as like...
If you want to flip it and make it an ego thing, it's like... And that's why, it's inherent in your statement. You need brain damage to enjoy the Mandalorian.
No, I was just kidding. I was being a snob.
Exactly. You're being.
My dad loves Mandalorian.
Being a snob is an extension of an overemphasis on the self and being an egotist.
What do you mean? I watch all Marvel and stuff. I know it's
you're too good
crap.
for Mandalorian.
I don't know. Maybe I'd like it. I watch all crap.
I think we should watch The Mandalorian.
I'd be happy to watch Mandalorian after this.
Sit there until we're like, hell yeah, Baby Yoda.
I mean, it's nice. They spend a lot of money on it. It's there. You know? It's nice. You know? Doesn't matter if it's good. It's just there.
Well, why are you saying it doesn't matter if it's good?
Because I watch all the Marvel movies.
But you're still watching them with the understanding that they're bad.
No, it's just there. They did it. They made the thing. I don't care about Black Adam, but I watched it.
Okay.
I don't care about Shazam, which I watched on Sunday.
But Shazam's old.
No, it's a new.
Oh, I'm thinking...
It's not the Shaq one. It's DC Comics.
Kazam.
Yeah. No, it's just, it's there. I think the whole thing of complaining about that kind of crap is useless.
Mm-hmm.
It's just that's what's there.
But can you enjoy it?
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
Because it's there.
All right.
Yeah.
Maybe
they used to make other crap.
Maybe I would enjoy The Mandalorian.
It's not a matter of making you feel right about yourself. It's not a matter of you watching Mandalorian and feeling at peace with oneself.
But it's not the behavior.
It's just there.
But the behavior itself is not going to do it. Something needs to change internally that will enable me to enjoy The Mandalorian.
I don't disagree.
I
don't disagree.
Facetiously, as a joke.
I don't disagree.
I said we should sit down and watch The Mandalorian.
I'm happy to.
No. And what I'm saying is I should sit down and do whatever needs to be done so that...
To accomplish that.
If and when I do sit down and watch The Mandalorian, I say, tell me more about Boba Fett's mom.
But what if you're farther along and I just slap that shit on and you watch it and you're like, all right, let's see what happens.
I don't think that's the right answer.
Why?
I think...
But maybe that tells you that shit isn't as bad as you think it is.
What do you mean?
You think that you're not intellectually capable, okay, of letting that shit wash over you, right? Because you're not right with yourself, right?
Yeah.
What if you just put it on and it just washes over you and you're like, this is fine, right? Maybe you'll find that you are more right with yourself than you gave yourself credit for.
Maybe.
Maybe everything isn't as dire as you're prescribing for yourself.
I'm not saying anything is dire.
I'm just saying, like, maybe you just put that crap on and it feels okay. Or it just feels like fine. And fine is good too.
I think you should be excited about it.
I don't think you should go to Comic-Con.
I think so. I think so.
Then you're losing me.
Why?
Because it's just, what does that prove?
Imagine if you met Data. You met Data from Star Wars.
That would be awesome.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that's just a component.
And Data wouldn't give a fuck if I met him.
But that's the promise of Comic-Con, is that you're going to meet Data.
No, you're going to meet the guy that played Data.
But he'll be Data.
He's not going to do Data. He's going to be like, I'm a guy and I'm doing this for a check. I felt really bad when I said that to Ernie Hudson.
What'd you say?
I said, you probably do Comic-Cons and stuff. And he's like, what do you mean? Like, I have to. It was I didn't realize it was condescending.
Mm.
But I thought because he's like a part of a nostalgia, media property. It's rude, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't mean it in a rude way.
Yeah.
It's rude, right?
It seemed like he was kind of offended by it.
Are we going to go to Comic-Con kind of stuff for Come Town?
No. In fact, that's why this started.
I definitely will. For a check, I'll do anything.
With Alex Jones. You'll probably...
This has been a wild ride. Yeah.
You will probably do a genocide.
What do you mean a genocide? You accused me of homophobic potential hate crime yesterday.
It was...
No, it wasn't. Well, it was uncomfortable. No, it wasn't. What do you mean uncomfortable to be around?
It was uncomfortable to be around.
No, you were deliberately doing something that you knew was embarrassing for me in a costume shop. And then you said that I was reacting to it because of my homophobia, not because I saw that I didn't think were trying to do something that you knew was embarrassing for me.
I did not think. First of all,
you were trying to have me put on a costume that I had expressed to you over weeks.
I thought would be funny, and you agreed it was funny, and you think it's funny. And
in retrospect, I said I'll do anything for the show. And stay tuned. I will be wearing the costume on the next episode.
Don't blow it.
What's the costume? They don't know.
It doesn't matter. Point is it's not to embarrass you. It is about, it's funny.
I had expressed to you.
If we went with your option, would it have been funnier? Would it have been funnier? Would it have been funnier?
It would. I'll do it. I'll do it for the show. I'll do it for the show.
Okay.
You wouldn't have worn mine.
It wouldn't make sense.
No, yeah. You wouldn't have worn that costume.
If it was funnier, yes. If it would have made it funnier, yes.
It would have been funny if you wore it.
It wouldn't have been funnier. That is the thing.
It would have been as funny, probably.
Funnier. Now.
So Alex Jones.
A genocide.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. How do you suspect I'll commit a genocide at some point?
And this again, back to the original point.
Go ahead.
I am being optimistic for you.
Oh, that's an accomplishment.
Yes.
Okay. The amount of people that I've killed is kind of in a.
I guess you know what? That's a little different. That wouldn't be because it's usually.
I think it's wrong. Personally,
it is usually little worm men that do the genocides.
What do you mean worm men? I thought you said we were both worm men.
Okay. Yeah. Me and you are probably most likely to do a genocide.
Has an Alpha ever done one?
You'll probably own a car dealership or a string of them.
No, I'm too lazy. I'm too lazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think the sky's the limit.
For me?
Yeah.
Auto dealership? That's not the sky.
No. I don't know. I mean, we'll see what happens with this show. We got to get enough money for the right cameras at some point.
Yeah. It's got to go up.
It has to. We got to figure out how to turn this into cash. Somehow we did everything backwards. We figured out how to make the show profitable before it was a show.
Yeah.
And then the show came out.
And then it became a show.
And now people hate it.
So it's bad?
It's not bad. It's very good.
I think people like it.
Watching the show, it's one of the only things I've ever felt proud about.
It's really cool.
It's really cool. It is genuinely a good show.
It's something that didn't exist.
The Ernie Hudson episode is great.
It's something that didn't exist before.
Yeah, that's how.
That's cool.
That's how. Yeah.
But what are they who cares about them?
Well, I mean, you care. You have to balance it. It's still a business you got to run.
The books aren't balanced.
They're balanced. Yeah.
Yeah, they are
balanced.
Yeah.
But how do we go bigger? You got to be thinking bigger. How can we make the show bigger?
Is that where genocide comes into play, or no?
I don't want
to do genocide. I don't like genocide.
Yeah. I don't think that was the wrong answer. Maybe you'll be directing The Mandalorian in 20 years.
Is it still going to be out?
Yeah. Or whatever the new Star Wars is. I believe you could do that.
No, I think you could do it.
What, direct the new Star Wars?
I think you'd be...
I'll be dead.
What do you mean dead?
I'll probably be
Why?
Dead. I don't know. I think I'm dying.
Well, that's your own... How do you know?
I just don't feel good.
I swear to God, and I'll say it to you right now, on camera. I'll die before you. Out of respect.
No chance.
What do you mean?
No chance.
Why?
It's just not going to happen.
Why?
It's just not going to happen.
You're in good shape.
Everybody knows that I'm not in good shape. I'm in terrible shape.
How do you know?
I'm out of breath standing up from the toilet.
From the toilet?
Yeah. And I'm not even shitting. I just hang out in there.
Oh,
I stand up and I'm like, oh boy.
It's probably because you're thinking about if the Mandalorian will make you ultimately happy.
It's not, God.
I know. I'm misinterpreting on purpose. I get what you're saying. Will I be happy enough to enjoy the Mandalorian? I know what you're saying. I mean, it's a pathetic thought, but I know what you're saying.
Not happy enough, but primed for happiness.
I don't know.
You shouldn't be, look, staying in a perpetual state of happiness is impossible.
Yeah.
But you should be in a perpetual state of being open to the possibility of happiness. In the same way that, like, you know, when people, like, they get out of a relationship, they're damaged, they can't, you know, it's like they just can't connect with somebody, right? Maybe they meet somebody and it would have worked, but they're just in this fucking
They're too hurt.
They're right. They're shut off.
Yeah.
Right?
It's
It's
too
a defense
raw.
mechanism. Yeah, it needs to be reset. The same works for enjoying The Mandalorian.
Yeah.
You know? The Sopranos ended 20 years ago. It's time to move on.
Uh-huh.
And maybe The Mandalorian isn't as good as The Sopranos.
Can I go bigger?
Yeah.
Zoom out bigger. It's really sad that you know you're alive, and in knowing that, you know you're going to die, right? That is a truth that we all know, and that we all live with
I
constantly.
guess some might say that
Okay.
underneath everything there is a existential dread that informs every
It's really sad
dissatisfaction.
that we will stop thinking at a certain point, right? So the baseline of existence is a cruel, mean, awful joke.
Well, that's also
So you
a matter
have
of
to
perspective.
find.
Because look, you have a concept of infinity, right? You understand it.
Infinity War?
No, infinity. There's like this thing, or endlessness. You understand the universe is endless. It expands forever.
No, it's not endless, but it's expanding.
Well, I get whatever.
I don't fucking know
Then what's
universes.
outside of the universe?
I don't know.
But so you have a concept of
No, I just want to be nice to my dog and my girlfriend
you're
and my
getting
friends.
off track, though.
That's all you can handle.
You're turning this into you're having a different conversation.
But I'm just saying, like, if you're constantly riddled, if you're constantly just like focusing on that, which is a logical like thought.
No, it's
right?
not. It's not.
You can't,
It's not logical.
What?
To like perseverate on is that the right word? On death?
I don't fucking know words.
You
bro.
repeat a thing over and over again in your head. You're like, I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die.
What are you talking about? It's the saddest thing imaginable.
But it's not real. Is I guess my
death?
Yeah, it's not.
What do you mean? What happened? No, nothing.
Because you understand your life to be finite in relation to what? There's no end point of time.
There's no anything else. There's just your life.
Yeah, so your whole life that's the entirety of everything.
So just be good to the people that you love.
No, but now you're
That's all you can. That's all you can control.
You're taking a conversation about one thing and turning it. You're just.
I'm just
jumping
saying.
into this needle point like.
It's not needlepoint.
Yeah,
I'm just saying.
This like Hobby
What?
Lobby, placard.
Maybe it's not.
What?
Maybe it's not.
What do you mean? Maybe it's not.
I don't know. Why are so many songs?
I don't know why you're pitching a problem that I say doesn't need to exist in your head, and then you're giving me a solution.
The problem of the fact that you're gonna die doesn't need to exist.
It does, yeah.
But you're saying that
it's a matter of perspective.
You're saying the problem of not being able to enjoy Mandalorian does exist.
It does exist, but I'm saying that doesn't stem from a
I'm just
feeling
saying
of death.
you do your best. You do your best. And it's never going to be good enough, but you just do your best. That's it. That's all you can do. Right?
Sure, but that's like separate. I don't like it's.
Why?
Because it's like you're like, I'm scared I'm going to die, but
yeah, but if people are left on Earth,
but then you're
if
throwing
people
like
are left on Earth,
an ad campaign at the end of it. You say, well, but
no, I don't care if it sounds corny. I don't care if it sounds corny.
It's just
if people are left having been impacted by your love, I think that is a life. That's the best you can do. Beyond that, it's just fucking really sad. It's really sad that you die.
Well, you don't really die though.
Yes, you do.
No, you don't.
Yes, you do.
You only die from other people's perspective, which you can never have in your own head. Your perception will always be the totality of your own existence.
Yeah, but then what happens after you're dead?
Nothing, because you don't. What happens is again.
I get what you're saying. But come on. Why is it bad to die then?
What?
Okay, I get what you're saying in theory, but in practicality, that's not true.
Well, you don't seem to be any happier.
What do you mean?
You just say, "Oh, I just want to be good to my dog," and life is terrible otherwise.
That's all you can. That's all you can do.
No, you can shift your perspective and then you can enjoy the Mandalorian and just be good to your dog.
It's part of the same thing.
Be good to your dog.
It's part of the same
because
thing.
It's
part of the same thing.
Because you just happen to enjoy it. Being good to your dog can be just as fine as watching the Mandalorian is. It can be this non-thing and just a normal state of being.
No.
And you don't have to use being nice to your dog, your family, or your friends as a coping mechanism.
It's not coping.
You just you diagnose your own problem is that you have this perpetual fear of death, and then prescribe.
Everyone does, and if they don't, they're lying.
They're projecting. They're not lying.
No, that's not true.
They're not lying. No,
that's not true.
Some people are just nice to their family and friends, and they just enjoy the Mandalorian.
That's all I'm saying is like.
No,
there
but
are
they
certain,
just do it.
There are certain realities. There are certain realities.
The way you
you're mischaracterizing my argument.
The way you think.
No, you're mischaracterizing.
How watching the Mandalorian should be is the same as you should think about.
You're mischaracterizing my argument.
I'm not mischaracterizing.
Yes, you are.
I think you're not understanding your own frame of reference.
What I'm saying is there are certain realities that are beyond our control. It's like people in AA have to say this shit. There are certain things we can control. There are certain things we can't. So we focus on the things we can control, which is like being good to your loved ones.
Or enjoying the Mandalorian.
It's part of the same thing.
But you're saying I have to be good to my loved ones because I'm going to die someday, and what impact am I going to have?
That's the only thing I've ever in my entire life been able to decipher that gives life meaning.
But every time you're nice to your dog, you're also thinking, I'm going to die someday.
No. I'm thinking that this is meaningful.
It's meaningful because
I'm extracting meaning.
Because you're going to die someday, and therefore it needs meaning.
No, because I'm showing love to another being.
You have a negative relationship with life being meaningful because life being meaningful is a way to justify this fear of death that you have or placate it.
I know, and it's really, I don't know if I want to say this in public.
Then don't say it.
But I know that from what I've seen,
not the Mandalorian,
in practicality,
not the Mandalorian. You haven't seen the Mandalorian.
That is the only thing, and it's from what I've learned. That's the only thing that really kind of makes sense.
You shouldn't look for meaning in life. You should just be able to exist within the suchness of it. In the same way, like whatever. It's the point I just made.
Then what are you fucking like? Come on, that's not how people exist. People are emotional beings.
You can be emotional, but if everything has this underline of I'm going to die, I need to find meaning. You're existing on these two extremes, right? Where it's life is this tragic, sad thing, or it has meaning.
No, that is something that is in the background constantly.
And then there's all these people in the middle.
There is no either or, right? I'm not denying that I'm going to die if I extract meaning from life.
You're not going to deny, but you balance it in a certain way. It's finding a balance between these two things. When you shouldn't be looking to balance these two extremes, you should be looking to remove the extremes. Because there is no meaning. Because just in the same way that life gives meaning, like life having meaning kind of makes it okay that you're going to die someday. Otherwise, why wouldn't you kill yourself or, any of these other things? What's the point of living if you're just going to die anyways? Whatever. Life has meaning, so you stay alive, and that sort of allays this underlying fear or sadness about, the tragedy of death.
Yeah, correct.
Right. So.
Or you believe in heaven.
Yeah, so you're always operating.
Or you believe in a faith system.
This is the negative of death. It's Roman Polanski raping the little girl. And then life having meaning is Chinatown. Right? And instead of the two things existing in once, either this great piece of art or this grand tragedy, let's forget about Chinatown. Let's forget about the Roman Polanski raping people. Let's watch The Mandalorian. Right in the middle.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying? Right in the middle.
Are you being obtuse on purpose, or am I not making any sense?
No, you're making sense. I just don't...
I'm just saying that, there's a tragic truth that underpins everything, right?
No, it's
and
not
all we can do is
our truth.
All in my opinion, okay?
It's not a truth because here's the
all
thing.
We can do is our best.
You're making all these intrinsic statements about death.
I'm saying what makes sense to me.
Like death being a tragedy is perception. So there's nothing. It's not. It's
badass,
not,
Nick. That's badass.
It's not about being no.
Why is it sad when a young person dies? Why is it sad when someone like dies unnecessarily? Why is it sad when someone gets killed?
You're going the other direction.
Then why is it sad?
You're still looking for an intrinsic
So if someone gets killed, if someone gets shot to death,
yes,
you say that why is this intrinsically sad?
You're talking about
right?
somebody being murdered in an injustice. That's
so why is it an injustice?
Is it okay? So everyone should constantly be sad about the fact that
no, because life is precious. Because life is precious. It's very simple. And cognition is finite. And we're very lucky to experience it, and it's really sad when we can't experience it anymore. You know?
All right. Well, go ahead and pet your dog and not enjoy it.
What?
Go ahead and be nice to your dog and not enjoy it.
That's what you're advocating for.
I'm not advocating for that. I'm advocating for petting your dog without the context of death being involved at all.
No, I'm saying that is what I choose to fill my life with to extract meaning.
To cope. Extracting meaning is coping.
Oh, yeah.
With this other thing.
It's badass. Bukowski, dude.
It's not Bukowski.
You smoke some cigs,
It's not Bukowski.
You smoke some, you're badass, dude. Come on, yeah. We're not even speaking at cross purposes right now.
No, we are though.
No, we're not.
Yes, we are, because you're not. That's not what I'm saying. It's not like
You're saying.
You're trying to say that I have some nihilistic approach to the thing, and I'm not at all. It's that there's a way to just pet your dog and enjoy it for that, without it giving your life meaning to cope with this other thing.
I'm not doing it to cope with the other thing. I'm doing that because that is how I choose to. That is how I choose to spend what I have of cognition.
But that shouldn't enter into your mind.
Why?
Because you can just enjoy petting the dog.
I would rather do that than fucking wasting my time doing some other shit. Yeah. I would. It's better for me. For me, it's a personal choice. It's better.
Okay.
And I'm not saying I'm spending my whole life loving. I'm a pervert. No, I'm just like that. That's what seems meaningful. In my opinion. That's the only thing that makes sense to me. I'm not a very smart person. That's the only thing that, to me, that's ever.
Well, what you need to do is figure out...
I'm not petting my dog to cope with death. I'm petting my dog because that's how I want to spend my life. Right?
Yeah. But what you need to do is you need to figure out how to watch The Mandalorian and not be thinking about...
I do that kind of shit, dude.
Okay.
I watch the Multiverse of Madness.
Then maybe start there and figure out how to pet your dog as if you were watching The Mandalorian.
You're a freak. You're a fucking freak. It's not all... You're a freak.
I'm not a freak.
You're a freak.
I make sense to me.
I'm right and you're wrong.
I make sense to me.
I know.
It's not a matter... Right and wrong, it doesn't even exist here.
But maybe it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. You can choose to live your life that way.
That's how I choose to live my life.
And I'm going to try and figure out how to fucking have my eyes roll back in my head and drool all over myself watching The Mandalorian.
And those two things are...
They're different, yeah.
They're different.
They are different.
I thought you said they're the same.
They are the same.
That the sensation of doing that...
In terms of objective reality, they are different things.
Yeah, we all get it. But who cares?
Well, you obviously do. Otherwise, you wouldn't have the conversation.
What?
You care.
You started the conversation.
No, I was trying to talk about fucking Chinatown.
What? You started it.
All right. Well, what I started, you started. It doesn't matter.
What do you mean?
I'm glad the cameras are working.
Are we gonna put this crap out?
Instead of what? We have to.
So embarrassing. I just acting this way in public is just. I'm not. I don't know. It's. You're smart enough to pop off in these ways. I
don't care.
Yeah, but I'm shy because it's like
who cares?
I'm a simple man.
This is just This is a free podcast.
Yeah, but I don't know. They're seeing it with video and stuff.
That's fine. It's a free podcast.
They want to hear us talk about
that helps fund the talk show that we want to do.
And a new episode will be out very shortly. It's our most ambitious to date.
Don't stop over-promising.
I mean it. It is.
Okay.
You agree.
I'm happy with it, but I don't want to.
You can't be happy with anything.
I'm happy. What the fuck are you talking about?
No, that's your fucking flaw. Is anytime anything good happens, you have to convince yourself you're really sad.
You put that.
You're such a bitch, dude.
That's not true. You're saying that. I've been saying I'm happy. I'm happy with what we did yesterday.
Since we did that yesterday. You've been like a little fucking moody.
No, I haven't. I'm relaxed. All day you've been saying what's wrong, what's wrong. And I tell you nothing is wrong. I feel fine. I feel good. I feel good about yesterday. It's a beautiful day outside.
Yeah, so let's enjoy this day.
I am enjoying it.
We're in this windowless room.
That's where the studio is.
Let's just go watch Mandalorian. Let's try it out.
I don't want to watch Mandalorian in the afternoon. I'll watch Mandalorian later. Also, we have more work to do. We got to get this all. Me and Ginsberg got to work all night.
All night?
It's going to be a lot. It's already fucking, what is it? It's like, yeah, it's almost 3 o'clock.
I have to fly out at fucking 6 a.m., dude.
You don't have to be here.
All right.
We'll get everything set up. Thanks for joining us, folks.
Did I sound